for calculus, M6, find trigonometric ratios using the unit circle. So in all of these, you are going to be having or be given a unit circle, and that just means that the radius is what? It is 1. Okay, so let's go. I'm going to make this a lot harder than what it actually is going to be, okay? But I'm trying to explain to you why it's going to work what it does. So if we have a unit circle, then the radius is always 1. And if the radius is always 1, and I have, so say that you have any reference angle, and we connect it to the x-axis where your radius is 1. Well, how did we get there? We went this way, whatever the x was, and then this way for whatever the y was, and we made this triangle with this reference angle of theta. And so let's say that I wanted to find sine theta. And how do we find sine? Opposite over hypotenuse. And the opposite is y. And the hypotenuse is 1. And anything over 1 is itself. So if you have a unit circle where the radius is 1, the sine of theta is whatever your y is. Okay? If we find cosine theta, that would be adjacent over hypotenuse. Your adjacent is x, your hypotenuse is 1, and if your hypotenuse is 1, then your cosine is x. So for a unit circle, your cosine theta is going to be whatever your x is. And one more. Let's see, let's do red. And so if we do tangent theta, that's opposite over adjacent, and your opposite is y, and your adjacent is x, and so it's whatever your y is over whatever your x is, and we'll get to that in just a little bit. So most of these are going to be super duper easy. The terminal side of an angle theta in standard position connects the unit circle at 33 over 65, 56 over 65. What is cosine theta? Well, cosine, just remember it's x, so your answer is going to be 33 over 65. That's it, that's all. Blah, 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 same, same, same. Sine. Sine is your y, so 24 over 25. Blah, 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 unit circle. Tangent. Okay, so tangent is y over x, and that's 9 over 41 over 40 over 41. And what happens if you have a fraction over a fraction? You flip the bottom one and take it to the top. Well, Lordy mercy, those are going to cancel out. So you have 9 over 40. Okay. Cosecant. Now remember, cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. So if sine of theta is y, then cosecant theta is going to be 1 over y, or just flip the y. That's all you do, flip it. Cotangent. So cotangent is the reciprocal of tangent, and tangent is y over x. Cotangent is going to be x over y. So we have 13 over 85 over 84 over 85. Flip the bottom, take it to the top. Those will cancel out. Your answer is 13 over 84. It's going to be doing the same thing every single time. Now we're getting into a little bit more advanced numbers. So let's see what we have. tangent, so negative square root 10 over 5. I know I'm going to flip the x and take it to the top, so I'm just going to do that now. So negative 5 over square root of 15. A negative times a negative is a positive. A 5 on bottom and a 5 on top cancels out. And so I'm left with the square root of 10 over the square root of 15. There are several ways of simplifying square root of 10 over square root of 15. You can get a calculator, plug it in, see what you get. We can reduce 10 and 15 first because they're both inside the radical. Or we can just end up doing it. We can't leave a square root of 15 on bottom, so we're going to multiply by square root of 15, and whatever you do at the bottom, you got to do at the top. We get the square root of 150, and square root of 15 times the square root of 15 is 15. We either get a calculator to simplify the square root of 150, or we put it into prime numbers, and we get 5 square root of 6 over 15. The 5 and the 15 are going to reduce to 1 over 3. So this answer is square root of 6 over 3. Cosecant is sine. Sine is y. So this would be negative 5. You're just flipping it, right? Over 2 square root of 6. We can't leave the square root of 6 on the bottom, so we multiply it to the bottom and the top. We get negative 5 square root of 6 over 2. Square root of 6 times the square root of 6 is 6. And 6 times 2 is 12. 5 and 12 do not reduce, so that is it. Cotangent. So if tangent is y over x, cotangent is x over y. So we have negative 14 over 4. So I'm going to flip the y and take it to the top to get 4. It's the square root of 14, didn't I? 4 over square root of 2. The 4 and the 4 will reduce. We have negative square root of 14 over square root of 2. Since the 14 and the 2 are both inside the square roots, I can reduce that and become negative square root 7 over 1. So just negative square root of 7. Last one? Yeah, last one. And secant is cosine. Cosine is x. So negative 7 over 3 square root of 2. Can't have square root of 2 on bottom. Negative 7 square root of 2 over 3 times 2, which is 6. The 7 and the 6 do not reduce. Negative 7 square root of 2 over 6.